Me and him have so much in common other than he's a world-class athlete, and I just hang out in a basement and do a podcast. He's going to be a fucking train wreck. And recording. Excellent.
Welcome to the gray area. My name's Greg. That's Ray. And Paul's behind the camera.
Hello.
And we're here to drink beer and talk about sports.
Let's get after it.
Paul, you blew it.
Paul was 6 hours late.
This one's so dented. I'm surprised I got it open at all without cutting more of my fingers.
Oh, yeah, I poisoned that one.
I won't chug it.
That's good.
Excellent.
That's good.
Excellent.
All right, let's kick it off with going over our bets from last week. We each put $5 in the pot, and we answered 18 questions about the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see who got them all right, because nobody got them all right.
I beefed it so hard.
Paul,
dude.
do you want to pull up the questions? And then our answers, I highlighted in green the ones that were right. I highlighted in red if they didn't happen. If they didn't happen or I couldn't find the answer, they're in red. And anything in yellow is controversial, so we have to discuss.
Okay.
First question, does anybody cry during the national anthem? Yes, Chris Jones was the first one. He had a tissue in hand this time.
Yeah.
Cries
Is that
during,
the guy you were talking about that always cries?
He was the first
At
Chiefs
least
player.
he was prepared this time.
Yeah.
Apparently the Eagles coach tends to do that too.
I watched it again today to make sure that I didn't miss something. He wasn't crying.
Yeah. It looked like he was close, but he wasn't.
What team will Drake be representing? He wasn't at the game because he's on tour in Australia, and I didn't realize that.
Well, also, realistically, if you knew at the halftime show the entirety of the stadium was going to be singing along to a song calling you a pedophile, I probably wouldn't be there either.
That's fair.
So I don't blame him on that. Should have thought about that before.
So this is one we need to vote on because he wasn't there, so we don't really know. So do you just give it to none?
Do we just scrap the question?
We can just scrap the question. That's fine.
Let's
I
just
think
scrap it.
it.
All right. I didn't count it in the final count. So
Okay, cool.
That's fine. What color will the Gatorade be? That was Paul. Paul won that one.
Hell yeah.
Good job.
It was yellow the last time the Eagles won too.
I thought the Chiefs were going to win, so that's why I said purple.
I did too, but out of sadness, not out of like
Fair
certainty.
enough.
Yeah.
Will a kicker hit an upright or crossbar? No, that didn't happen.
That my buddy was sitting behind me and he had money on it, like
Really?
somebody
Happening?
doinking. And so every time he was like, "Come on, come on, come on," because the Eagles kicker apparently was struggling up until this point.
Well, they only kicked like what, two or three,
and they kept making him do it again.
Yeah.
He
That's
had
right.
to redo every
That's
kick.
right.
Roped them all though.
Yeah, it was good. Who will the MVP thank first? All right. He didn't actually say thank you to anyone. His quotes were, "God is good." That was the first thing he said. And then he said, "Couldn't be here without my teammates." So he never actually said thank you.
I'll still give you God.
Okay.
I will also give that to you.
Okay. If that's the case, that puts me at 8 for the win.
Okay.
But we'll keep going through these because
I told you I was going to be impartial and
Yeah.
not just.
Well,
I
I
don't
thought-
even think there's a way I can lie and do a victory here.
I thought he and I were tied, and I was looking at it again today to make sure, and I was like, ooh, I didn't count this one because we needed
now,
to talk about
the
it.
coach thanked God.
Did he?
Yeah, but Hertz did not.
Okay.
Well, he didn't say the
Not
words.
only do
He
you
didn't
get
say
a point
thank
for,
you.
not only do you get a point for saying God, but you also take one of my points because the coach thanked God.
Well, any player proposed after the game? Nope, didn't happen. Who wins the coin toss? The Chiefs?
Nailed it.
What were we going to say? Sorry, I moved on too fast.
So again, I thought it was going to be. We all thought it was going to be Travis proposing to Taylor. Did you see him leaving after the game?
Mm-mm.
The outfit he was wearing, those like silver pants and that crazy shirt. It looks like he only brought clothes to wear after he won the Super Bowl and didn't bring a backup outfit, so he just looked like a moron leaving the stadium.
I didn't see it, but my wife was telling me about it.
Oh my God, it was embarrassing. He was all sad, and I just thought it was funny because he was so confident that he was going to win three in a row that,
I look too confident to be this sad.
it was
Whatever. What was the next? Oh, coin toss is Paul. Good job. Will the power go out during the game? Nope. We all guess nope. Taylor Swift didn't hug Andy Reid or Patrick Mahomes on camera
because they didn't win.
So that one's
scrapped.
Negated. Will a player leave the game and not return due to? Oh wait, I missed one. Sorry. If the Chiefs win, does Andy Reid get doused in barbecue sauce? They didn't win.
Chiefs didn't win. They might have still covered him in barbecue sauce as a shaming ritual. Yeah.
I have liquid all over my mic.
Probably beer.
Yeah. Will a player leave the game and not return due to concussion symptoms? Didn't happen.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm happy nobody got
It was a
really
pretty
hurt.
lame game. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really thought.
The
Really thought it was gonna happen.
only person that could have maybe happened to was Mahomes because he got lit up over and over
Yeah,
and
that's
over
true.
again.
Does a ref get taken out by a play? I did not see anything.
I didn't
and
see
I
it,
even
right, yeah.
I even Googled it and couldn't find it. So
I didn't think it happened.
good job, Paul.
Just coming up with dubs.
Dubs. Pauly Dubs.
Will the first commercial after kickoff be a beer commercial? I think it was Dunkin' Donuts.
I think you're right.
America does run on Duncan.
Yeah.
It was the Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, Drewski commercial.
I
Yeah.
stepped into the kitchen and I was looking at the chicken wings when the commercial started. So when I looked back at the TV, they had already started.
You got distracted by the chicken
Yeah,
wings.
I totally
Classic-
got
classic mistake.
I
But-
mean, I would get distracted by those too. To
Yeah.
be fair.
But there were ladies in the room that were watching, and I was like, "Is this the first commercial?" And they all said yes. So I'm going off of what they
Sure.
said. What's next? How many different players will have a passing attempt? We all said over. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Just Hurts and Mahomes.
Yep, that's what
think
that's
that-
what I saw.
I guess the Chiefs didn't really have an attempt. Like, they didn't have a chance to try and
No.
do something
I mean-
silly. They just kept getting swallowed.
Right. How many songs are played during halftime? Over 6.5. By my calculation, it was about 10.
Yeah.
10 different songs. We were counting out loud as they were going through the songs.
Okay. So I got that.
Yeah, so we got, what did I say? Did I say,
You said it.
I said under. You guys both said
oh,
over.
okay. Yeah, sorry.
Remember, because Paul always disagreed with us.
I was looking at the wrong thing.
It almost paid out, dude.
Yeah,
I
it
should have
did.
disagreed with you guys on the pass.
Apparently, if I make bets, just go with whatever I didn't say, and you'll be set.
You gave me bets last night, and they didn't hit.
I got one. I did 1 out of 3.
Yeah, 1 of 3. That was the one I was going to do anyway.
The fact that you got 5 of these, that's really showing.
Hell yeah.
How many times will Taylor Swift be shown on TV during the game? Do you know how many times she was shown?
I know at least 3, right?
1.
1?
She was only on national television 1 time.
Okay. Probably because they weren't doing anything. Every time Travis Kelce dropped a pass or he had the couple where he caught, Tom would scream, "Show her!" at the top of his lungs.
She got booed at the stadium. Did
yeah,
you see
that
that?
was awesome. Well, so did the Chiefs, just in
Yeah, I
general.
know, but
Yeah.
Just wild. And then her reaction was like, what is happening? She's never been booed in her life. She has no idea.
Did
What
you
is
see them?
what is this sound I'm hearing?
Did
I
you see
don't
them
like it.
come out too at the beginning? It looked like they were coming out of the gates of heaven. It was all foggy. And
No,
they,
I didn't actually notice.
It was crazy. It was crazy looking.
Unfortunately, I could not find the over-under beers sold. I cannot find where.
I was trying to look it up too, and I didn't.
Yeah.
It was just showing the price of a beer
Yep.
and how many cases of beer were sold total in the United States.
Yeah, like 50 million gallons
it was
of beer.
54 million cases of beer are sold every year.
And it's over
at
a
the Super
billion
Bowl.
gallons.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, it's stupid. So I couldn't find that.
Our whole country's alcoholics.
I know. I found it for 2019. There was 117,000 beers were sold. No,
Maybe they're
2019.
still counting. I don't know.
But unfortunately, I even tried to find that official bet on gambling websites, and I couldn't find it. So, whatever. And last but not least, how many commercials will Snoop Dogg be in?
Was it
he
just
was
the
just
one?
in one.
He was just in one.
The one that you knew of going into this?
Yep. Kind of disappointing.
I was pretty
also
confident.
happy, but also disappointed.
I was pretty confident that he was going to be in a Skechers commercial, but
Yeah.
you see who he got replaced by?
Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart, his homegirl.
Oh,
I
yes.
saw that.
Martha Stewart.
All right. So I think that puts me at 8.
Yeah, it looks like the finishing numbers are Ray at 5, me at 7, and Greg at 8.
So, Greg, you get the $15, and
And
you get to keep the
your
rights
firstborn.
of your first
Yes!
son, dude. Bree's going to be excited about that.
Yes. Yesterday, when I had counted, I forgot to count the MVP thing because we were voting on it, and I thought you were going to owe me and Paul $250 each. We have to split the pot. I was kind of looking forward to that. But
Yeah, I would have done all quarters and thrown them at you.
awesome.
Fair.
Yeah, you owe me your 37 cents in pocket lint for whatever reason. Oh yeah, because you lost me those bets yesterday.
Hey, dude, you have a mind of your own. You don't have to do what I tell you.
No, I don't.
Good
I'm
call.
only doing this because of you. You ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right,
we can move on.
that's our Super Bowl coverage.
get away from me losing as fast as we can. Yeah.
Right. NHL is taking a 2-week break right now for the Four Nations Faceoff. Kicks off tonight with a game between Canada and Sweden. Essentially, it's exactly what it sounds like. 4 countries. They pick the best of the best from the NHL to put on these teams. It's USA, Canada, Sweden, and Finland. And they're playing in a round-robin style tournament. They're each going to play 3 games in the traditional round-robin format. 3 points for a win, 2 points for a win in OT or shootout, 1 point for loss in OT or shootout, and 0 points for a regulation loss.
Okay.
2 teams with the best tournament record will then advance to a 1-game final next Thursday, the 20th.
All right.
The first 4 games are held in Montreal, and then the last 3, including the final, are going to be in Boston. And it's going to consist of normal NHL rules. So this is in place of the All-Star game. Well, they're not doing it in place of. They're not doing an All-Star game because they're doing this.
Okay. And this is brand new?
Yeah, they've never done this before.
Is this going to be something they continue to do?
I'm not sure. So they're doing this year, and then next year is the Olympics, and the NHL players are going to be in that. So they're not going to do an All-Star break then either.
Okay.
This is basically an All-Star tournament that excludes anyone that's not from one of these 4 countries. So,
right.
I mean, take it, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's other European countries where people are present in the NHL.
Right. They talk a lot about they're doing this to allow the NHL players a chance to compete for their country, which is strange because they're going to play in the Olympics next year. Like, they specifically talk about Connor McDavid being able to represent Team Canada and wear a Team Canada jersey.
Yeah.
And the last time they did some kind of world tournament or whatever, Connor McDavid was still a kid, so he never got a chance. And that's just what they talked about, was him specifically. I don't know. They're not doing it just for him, obviously.
Sure, but I mean, he's a big name. He's going to draw people to watch it.
But again, like they're in the Olympics next year, so that I don't really buy that because a lot of these guys are going to get to play next year too.
This also sounds like the NBA in-season tournament, but cooler.
Yeah, I agree. I like this better than an All-Star.
Yeah,
game, and there's a tournament. There's real stakes. You get to represent your country. I'm all about that. I'd like to think USA is going to dominate, but literally every team is stacked.
Right.
So
Canada's got to be juiced up.
Canada's pretty good. I think if you look at the players, USA probably has the best lineups, but like everybody's.
Yeah.
It's actually. Can we pull up, Paul, the teams real quick? I want to look at USA's defense. Actually, stop there in Canada. So like they have Cale Makar and they have Colton Parayko, which is fine. But
you're just looking at defense.
Yeah. I mean, offense. All those guys, everybody on all their offenses are just going to score goals.
You pick the one blue, and you're like, he's fine.
Yeah.
They do have Crosby though.
Well, they have Binnington too.
McDavid, Crosby.
Parayko's fine. I think he's a good player for the Blues, and he's probably going to play great here.
Binnington's their starting goalie?
He's their number 1 goalie on the list. I don't know if that means he's the starting goalie.
I'd assume so.
But Doug Armstrong, the GM for the Blues, is the GM for Team Canada, too.
Oh, cool.
So that's cool. So obviously I'll be cheering for Team USA, but if they suck, I'll definitely be rooting for Binnington and Parayko just because I don't care about Canada. But
just Blues loyalty?
Yeah.
Also, keep it North America, man.
Right.
If we're not going to win.
Right. Scroll down to Finland. We'll take a quick look at them. Oh, Alex Pietrangelo also was on the team.
Is he hurt?
He decided not to play. He just
because he's a million.
He said it says right here he withdrew from the tournament to tend to an ailment, but I think he just doesn't want to play.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to get hurt.
He's older. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know a lot of these players. I know a few: Mikko Rantanen, Sebastian Aho. I know the names, but I'm not familiar with half of them. Barkov, Nico Mikkola. Yeah, but
I'm a casual dude.
Fine.
None of these names are sticking out to
all
me.
Right, send it. Next, we'll go to Sweden. We'll take a look at them. Arvidsson, Carlson, Eriksson Ek. Yeah, I know a lot of these guys too, but again, none of them like really stand out as.
So who do you
There's good
think,
teams.
Who do you
or
think
good
is
players,
better, Sweden or Finland?
Just based off players I recognize.
Yeah, name recognition.
Probably Sweden.
Okay.
And then U.S. Let's go down to them real quick. because I knew all these guys, and it's not because they're U.S. players. It's because these are the best of the best on the teams that they're on.
Right. So who's our main guy? Austin Matthews?
Dude, I don't know. That's hard to say because Kyle Connor's awesome. Jack Eichel's awesome. Jack Hughes is awesome.
Matt Kachuk's good.
Matthew Kachuk is awesome. They're just Connor Hellebuck's the best goalie in the league. Like,
Yeah, the Jets are on fire.
yeah. So this is going to be a tough team to compete against, and I'm not just saying that. I really feel like they're gonna crush. But
Yeah, that's exciting. That's a good way to set it up.
yeah, I think this will be cool. It's definitely gonna be fun to watch. So it kicks off tonight. Like I said, it's Canada and Sweden play tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. So by the time this comes out, they'll already be playing.
Okay.
USA plays their first game tomorrow, which, well, I think it's Finland, and then USA plays Canada on Saturday.
Okay.
Which I'm looking forward to watching. I think that'll be a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's the schedule right here. So Canada, Sweden tonight. Tomorrow, U.S. Finland. Then Finland, Sweden, U.S. Canada on Saturday, and then Monday, Canada, Finland, Sweden, U.S. And then Thursday's a championship game.
All right. I'm just hoping we make that.
I kind of wish there were more teams in this though.
Well, if this goes off well, maybe there will be.
Maybe. Yeah, it just kind of sucks. Like, there's a lot of. I understand politics or whatever. That's probably why Russia's not playing.
Well,
but there's a lot of good Russian players. Like,
Sure.
They could probably have a good team too. People were talking about maybe making just like a European team instead of
Just like a rest of world
yeah.
team.
You can't just have Germany because they'll only have like 6 players or
Right.
whatever. But I'm sure there's more than that. But you get what I'm saying.
Just have one team that's just labeled other.
Yeah, other.
The NBA is doing something kind of similar with their All-Star game,
Mhm.
and I honestly think I don't know about the NHL's All-Star game, but I think they just desperately want more people to tune in this
Yeah.
break because the breaks are like the same.
Right.
Their All-Star breaks are lined up almost exactly.
A few years ago, the NHL went to a 3-on-3 format.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like running clock, 3-on-3. It was cool, I think, the first year because it was new. And they were also playing for money.
Yeah.
So they gave them a prize, like it was like $100,000 or whatever,
Mhm.
which isn't anything to these guys, but it's still something to compete for.
Yeah,
It'd be like us playing for a $20 bet. Or
Sure.
whatever. So it's still cool. You're going to try, but I just don't think they care that much about the All-Star stuff anymore.
Right. Well, and that's in every sport.
It doesn't get the ratings.
Yeah. And nobody wants to get hurt, so they don't try that
Right.
hard.
Right. But anyway, going into that, I know you wanted to talk about All-Star stuff.
Oh, yeah.
NBA. So
Yeah, we can flip over
Yeah.
into Ray's basketball corner. Hey, DJ, play that music. All right, so I got a couple of things that I wanted to touch on, but we'll start with the All-Star game because it segues nicely from
Yeah,
what
cool.
you were talking about. So they've set up a completely new structure for the All-Star game this year that's not like anything they've done before.
all right.
So the NBA All-Star Game will be played February 16th and has a brand new format. It's set up like a mini 4-team tournament.
Is that Sunday?
Yeah, it's Sunday.
Okay.
So it's set up like a mini 4-team tournament. The 24 NBA All-Star selections will be split into 3 teams of 8, with the winners of the Rising Stars event making up the 4th team. So the Rising Stars events, when they have the rookies and the sophomores play
Interesting.
each other, and then so whoever wins that
Will be the fourth
will be
team.
the 4th team, which means they're probably going to get dog walked. I think they just wanted it to like show young players.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. But that game will take place Friday, that rookie versus sophomore game.
Okay.
But the way that they decided up the teams, so everyone was selected to the All-Stars based on West and East conferences. And then they had the TNT boys pick the teams. So Shaq,
Like-
Kenny, and Charles picked from the All-Star
Like
list.
playground rules.
Yeah, they like drafted a team.
They did that last year. The NHL
Yeah.
All-Star game too.
Right, and they had like delegates.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they had the TNT guys do it, so it was just a shit show
That's
the whole
funny.
time. But there'll be 2 semifinal games that decide which 2 teams make it to the All-Star finals.
Okay.
Each game is to 40 points. There is no game clock on. It's just play basketball. Whoever hits 40, you win that game.
Really is playground rules.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So the incentive, same thing they did with like the in-season tournament. They're trying to make these guys try. So there was a total of $1.8 million in incentive prize money. Each player on the winning team receives $1,000 that number. Say it.
125,000.
I'm so bad
are you
at those.
Okay?
No, I'm so bad at those.
You can't
and
say
then
numbers?
players, no, and then the
We
players
can
on
take
the
a break.
runner-up
You good?
teams.
Like, want some water?
Yeah, I'm good. And then players on the runner-up team receive 50,000, and then players eliminated in the semifinals receive 25,000.
You knew those numbers.
Yeah, it's the 100 ones always destroy me because I got a
Smaller
tiny
numbers
brain.
are good.
I got a tiny brain.
Tiny smooth brain.
Yeah, I'm smooth-brained like a koala. But I have the breakdowns of the teams that they picked here.
Are you gonna hold that up to the camera?
No, I'm just gonna say it, but they're not gonna be able to see that. They kind of themed the teams.
Okay.
So like Shaq picked all the older players. Chuck picked all the people that are global stars. He cheated a little bit because he couldn't get strictly people from outside of the United States,
Okay.
but he got close. And then Kenny picked like young guys that are making their first couple of All-Stars.
Did they do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so Chuck's global stars, Giannis Antetokounmpo was selected. He's injured, so he will not be playing.
Okay.
But he got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's Canadian, Nikola Jokic, Donovan Mitchell, he's American, so he cheated there. Sengun, Pascal Siakam, Karl Anthony Towns, Victor Wembanyama, and Trae Young. So he's got like 3 Americans, and then everybody else
Okay.
is.
I was about to say,
from
where's
overseas.
Trae Young from? But
Trae Young's
Yeah.
from here.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
And then Kenny's young stars, he's got Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Ant Edwards, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Jaren Jackson Jr., Evan Mobley, and Jalen Williams. And then Shaq has like all the names that have been playing since, we've been young,
All right.
other than like the Celtics boys. So Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, but he's injured, so he will not be playing.
Okay.
Classic. Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, and Jason Tatum.
Nice.
So if I had to pick who I think is going to win that, still really hard for me to root against like the OGs.
Mm-hmm.
I still think because that's almost basically just our team from the Olympics, like minus Joel Embiid.
That's
it's
fair.
Pretty much the same, and we beat everybody there. Granted, these teams are going to be better because the international team's playing with all the good players.
Right.
Like you got Wembanyama and Nikola Jokic on the same team. That front court's going to be a nightmare. So we'll see. I still would put money on the OGs, but you know my history with betting. So
Bad.
not great.
He's fantastic at it.
But that covers that. I don't know. I have to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is going to be better or worse than how it normally was before.
I never watched it before. Maybe I'll watch this one.
Because the last one was miserable.
Okay.
So it has to be better than that.
Well, it's new and different. So
Right? And the last one was just the basic East versus West.
Yeah.
Because they used to do playground rules where they would like set up whoever got the most votes from the West and whoever got the most votes from the East, and then they would just randomly pick people.
Okay.
And they ran that for a couple of seasons, and that was cool. But the last one was standard, and it was bad. Like that was one of the first episodes was us talking about how bad
it was.
how
I
bad
remember.
the All-Star game
I remember
was.
that.
But yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping that it's actually entertaining and they try because there's money on the line. It's not a ton of money compared to these guys' contracts,
Yeah,
but
it's something.
it's something. And I don't know why like I said, they set up these rising star kids just to get crushed in that first round.
These poor guys.
But if they lose, that's like bragging rights. So, you know what I mean? If these young guys come in and like crush these all-star caliber players
mm-hmm.
in any way,
or even just make it close.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that's also one of like how they're trying to get them to try to compete more.
That's fair.
Just don't get embarrassed, kind of thing. Yeah. But moving on from that,
I hope they do. I hope they get embarrassed.
that would be funny. But I got some trade stuff to talk about because last time wasn't the deadline. We were like a day before the deadline.
Right.
The big one was the Jimmy Butler getting traded to Golden
Mhm.
State move. And this trade was a messy 5-team deal that I don't want to read all of that for
Then
because
don't.
it's a nightmare. But the main takeaways are the Heat received Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and Davion Mitchell and a 2025 first-round pick. And the Warriors received Jimmy Butler, 2 second-round picks, and my favorite player, cash considerations. But this feels like
You should change your name
to cash considerations.
just to considerations, and then when you have a kid, name him Cash.
I will. He'll
Get
be
him in the NBA.
Yeah, he'll be in every NBA trade. So this feels like the Warriors' final push to put a team around Steph Curry before he gets too old to be competitive. That's what it feels like because they weren't playing well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is kind of, they're getting towards the end
Fair enough.
of him because he's like 36. Granted, he could play forever because he mostly just has to shoot, but him being the guy, I think there's a time limit on that, and it's coming up pretty soon. They have a hole to dig out of because they're currently sitting at 27 and 26, and they're the 10th seed. So right now they'd be a play-in team, which isn't good when your roster's old. You have to play more games. I personally don't think it's enough to put them anywhere close to title contention, but they are 2-0 since Jimmy joined. And he's played both games, and Butler's a fucking dog, and he's proved me wrong before. So, and again, you know how I am with betting. But even so, since 2015, the Warriors have made 6 finals and won 4 of them. And along the way, they set the best season record in NBA history of 73-9. So maybe it's just like time to call it and rebuild.
Yeah.
I was feeling the same way about the Lakers before, too. I was like, okay, we leveraged the future for
Not
winning
anymore.
now. It's different now, yeah. But, just kind of right off. It's okay to be bad and rebuild.
Right.
People get old.
Right.
You don't have to.
Sometimes you have to be bad to rebuild.
Don't mortgage your future
Right.
to try and win with 2 36-year-olds. Like, that's not going to do you a lot of favors. I guess they have like 3 36-year-olds now. But the funniest part of this trade was Dennis Schroeder got absolutely blasted in this. He got, I said it was a 5-team deal.
Yeah.
He just kept getting bounced around. He's not a bad player, but like nobody wanted to take on his and he wasn't making that much money. But this is his season so far. He was traded from the Nets to the Warriors on December 15th. So this Butler deal moved him to the Jazz, who then immediately traded him to the Pistons. So he's been on 4 teams in less than 2 months.
Oh, this poor guy.
Dude's getting passed around like a bong. Like, he's this poor guy, he was probably just like, oh, okay, like I have to leave California. He went from Brooklyn to California to Utah and was like, oh, now I got to go find a place to live in Utah, and then immediately got sent to Detroit. So the poor guy.
He's just
just
staying in a hotel.
I guess. And he'll play. I mean, he'll get minutes for the Pistons. It's not like he won't play basketball, and the Pistons are better. They're not like dog shit like they were last year. But that's still got to suck. That's a lot of moving around.
Well, that'll ruin his whole life now. That he's not going to know. Next team he's on, he's going to be like, do I buy a house?
I know. Yeah, he's just going to have to like rent an apartment. Yeah.
And stay in this hotel.
You're a professional athlete and you just rent an apartment.
Does he have a family? That's the worst part.
I don't know. I know he's German. He's an international player. I don't know if his family's here or there or if he has one. I don't know that much about him. I just thought it was funny that he got bounced around a bunch. Yeah, it does suck. I feel bad for him. But I wanted to cap off with, remember when I was like, oh, the Lakers got Luka.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing good. We just need to get a center because we only had one center on the roster.
And you got one.
Rid of Anthony Davis. Yeah, but this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
So we didn't actually get him.
Oh.
The Los Angeles Lakers' original trade was for Mark Williams for the Charlotte Hornets. And in return, we were sending Dalton Knecht, Cam Reddish, and 2 first-round draft picks to the Hornets. The trade was rescinded after Williams failed his physicals with the Lakers' doctors. So he was so broken somehow. Something's horribly wrong with him. Like, they looked at him and they were like,
no.
dude, we just got rid of Anthony Davis. We're not fucking doing this again. I'm not dealing with an injury-ridden.
Oh, my gosh.
So they rescinded it. They sent it back. And it was after the trade deadline.
Can't do anything about it.
Right. It's over. But, so he failed that physical by the Lakers, and he's young. He's like 23. And he's only played in like 30% of the games he could have possibly played in so far in his career because he's had back issues.
Mm-hmm.
So when that got shut down, I was like, oh, it's his back. But they're saying it wasn't his back. It was like everything else. I don't know. Something has to be really wrong with this dude. Like, he has to have like hot dogs instead of cartilage in his knees, or like his bones are made out of like aquarium glass. I have no idea what's going on with this dude.
There's a series of fluid-filled sacks.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Well, you see, the problem is your shit's fucked.
Right. That's basically what the doctor said. There's like, this dude's boned. We don't want to deal with this.
That sucks.
So then the trade gets canceled, and the Hornets are trying to like go into arbitration about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we already made the deal. It should go through. I think the Hornets tried to pull a fast one on us.
Oh.
I think they saw us get Luka,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, that's bullshit. He got traded for Anthony Davis and like a 6-pack of Diet Coke. We got to find a way to like screw him over and go to send this dude, and it doesn't work. Now they're fighting with the league, and I guess if they win, then the trade goes through. But I can't imagine it's going to if the doctors are like, no.
Oh.
But I'm okay with that if he really is that messed up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we still didn't have a center.
Right. You need somebody that can actually play.
So the Lakers were in desperate need of a center, right? So now the trade deadline's gone. We can't make any more deals, so we have to look at the buyout market, which are people who just got off contracts. Like their teams are like, we don't want you anymore. Here's money. Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And just pick somebody up from that. So we signed a guy who's 31 years old named Alex Lynn, who played for the Kings, and the Kings didn't want him anymore. He's currently averaging 1.4 points, 1.8 rebounds, and 0.5 blocks on 7 minutes per game.
He's killing it.
And then my last point on it is just a little sad face. That's my last point.
I don't know how you can be a center and only have 1.8 rebounds per game.
He's huge, too. He's 7 feet tall.
I can have more rebounds in an NBA game.
If you
than
can
that
walk
guy.
and chew gum and be 7 feet tall, you can just stick your hands up.
Right.
And the ball will go into your hand. But yeah, we'll see. We might pick up more people. Just depends. But you got LeBron James and Luka Doncic on your team. They tend to make people better. And this guy's not going to start. He's just going to come off the bench and hopefully just get boards and protect the rim. But if you have two dudes that could throw you a lob at any point in time and you're 7 feet tall, your numbers are going to go up. So here's hoping he just stays healthy. That's all I need.
Cool. How did Luka do in his first game?
He played well.
Good.
He played well. He didn't play a ton of minutes because he's still coming off that injury. And obviously he's not like up to NBA conditioning standards.
I saw his full court pass to LeBron.
That was sick.
Yeah, it was sick. It was all over the internet.
And I do really believe, so a big problem with Luka that I think the Mavericks were harping on when they made this trade is that they're worried he doesn't stay in shape.
Right.
LeBron James has got to be like one of the best workout regimens ever of all time. The dude's 40 and still insane. And that might rub off onto Luka.
Yeah.
Because they do similar things in the basketball court. They play in a similar kind of way. LeBron's way more athletic. But
doesn't mean Luka couldn't get athletic.
if he just starts working like half as hard,
right. They'll be unstoppable.
he could become insane. The guy's only 25.
Right.
So I still have high hopes here.
Cool.
I think we'll make a playoff push. I don't think we'll win, but
I don't know how you can be a professional athlete and not be in good shape.
pure natural talent. I mean, him and Jokic are the same. They're just insanely talented without really having to try.
But like they know they're insanely talented. Why don't they just try?
I guess it's a mentality thing. Not everybody's Kobe Bryant. Like, not everybody wants to put up 2,000 shots a
You
day.
don't have to put up 2,000 shots a day.
Just more effort.
Just go to the put up the weights for an hour.
They Nico Harrison kept being like,
Jog for 15 minutes.
He's out of shape and he just loves drinking beer. And I was like, I love that he's on my team. Me and him have so much in common other than he's a world-class athlete, and I just hang out in a basement and do a podcast. But yeah,
So you have nothing in common.
just the beer, just the liking to drink thing.
We'll end it on that. Unless you got more.
No, I'm out.
Sweet. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow us on social media at @grayarea_sports on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
Crushed it. Thanks for joining us. Take it easy.
Hey, producer Paul here. If you have a video that you want Greg and Ray to talk about, discuss, or even overreact to, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Thank you very much.